What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a little bit of a different video that I kind of wanted to do with you guys, because in today's video I'm actually kind of, using a clip from a channel which I was recently featured on called Relly Hall. He's an amazing bloke that basically does a lot of NBA content, a lot of Cavaliers content. He's got this Cavaliers Let's Talk podcast, and basically on the podcast episode what we actually talked about is some potential Colin Sexton trade, rumors out, trade speculation about him, our thoughts and opinions on whether or not the Cleveland Cavaliers should trade him or not. And we also went into detail on a couple other things like teams that should maybe trade for him, this and that. So if you guys would like to go and check the full video out, I highly recommend going and checking it out. It will be on his channel. Go subscribe to it, like the video, comment on it, do this and that. You guys know what's up. But I guess without further ado, let's just get straight into the clip. And the other thing that I would kind of wanted to ask you is, has your thoughts changed on Sexton? Because right now where I sit, I do not want to extend Sexton to a long-term deal. In my opinion, I still think we should trade him at the deadline. But I know some Cavs fans might think that's pretty controversial, but that's just my opinion. I think this team runs better without Sexton.
I'm so glad you said that, because I want to start with Colin too with the extension, because I've been getting killed for saying that.
Yeah.
And I understand why, because they feel like Colin is a star, right? He technically is the best player. But when you really assess, if you really watch the games and you really look at how Colin Sexton has developed over the 4 years, right? Then you take in the fact that we just witnessed Michael Porter Jr. get $205, $207, right? And I know Colin Sexton in his right mind feels like he has been more consistent than Michael Porter Jr. He's better than Michael Jr. He's been more consistent than Michael Porter Jr. And you realize he's looking at that and saying, I'm going to cash out, right? And if he gets that, that's a 5-year deal, 205. That's a lot of money, which means if you sign him, you gave Larry Martin money, you gave Jared Allen money. That means this is the core you think is going to win you a playoff or get you in the playoff, yet that core hasn't got you in the playoff yet.
Yeah.
So to make that type of investment now does not make sense, which is where I agree with you. I'm not extending Colin Sexton for that type of money.
Yeah.
Now,
there's two. You go.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's two things, right? Two things. Colin Sexton, I don't think he deserves that money. Is the main thing. Actually, no, there's three things. Doesn't deserve the money. I think the team runs better without Colin Sexton, in my opinion. Look at last year when he was isolating all those times. Didn't work. He might have been scoring 25 points per game, but it didn't work. This year, they took the ball away from Colin Sexton, stopped him from isolating. The team was winning a ton more games. And the third thing is, this is the best time to trade Colin Sexton, because there is currently a team interested in him right now, which is the most perfect situation the Cleveland Cavaliers will probably ever get. And that's Oklahoma City Thunder, who have reported to be interested in him. They have 45 different picks. That's the main thing. And plus, OKC would love him because they ran a death ball system a couple years ago where they had Schroeder, Chris Paul, and SGA all in the same lineup. Apparently, they're looking to do that again with Giddey, SGA, and Sexton. So, hey, imagine all those picks we could get out of Sexton while also saving a bunch of money.
That I would have to see. That does intrigue me, because I do love picks, and they do got 1,001 of them. But it would depend on how recent those picks are and which team picks we got, because they got a variety of different team picks. Basically, they got the whole league's pick low key, and I would be intrigued by it, but it depends who picks we get. Also, I agree with you again with Colin, because I've told people too, if you really pay attention, our best performances overall on a consistent basis has been when Colin Sexton wasn't in the rotation. Colin Sexton is a great scorer. He's a good player. But Darius Garland and even Isaac Okoro had his best game when they put Isaac Okoro at the shooting guard and Colin at the one. And they essentially just, the ball was just moving. Because it was when we played Chicago. right? I think they had just got. Well, no, it was the first game. It was before I think they got Vucevic, right?
Yeah.
And we beat Chicago, a team a lot of people didn't think we was gonna beat. And Zach LaVine, he had 20 points, but he was like 8 for 22.
Oh, was that when Okoro went on to LaVine and was Sexton? Did he even play?
Who's Sexton?
Yeah,
Who?
he didn't play that game.
No, he didn't play that game. Yeah. Yeah, they put Isaac Kerr at the shooting guard. That's why I'm like, for me, like, and I know a lot of people say, that might not be sustainable, but it's like you're in a situation where Colin Sexton, like, it would be a different story if Colin Sexton developed a better passing game, right? Because, even last year, I've always questioned Colin Sexton's IQ, not because he's a bad player, but it's just at times he makes offense harder for himself and the team. Like, and it's like, I'm not paying that type of player $200 million. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
Yeah. What about when Okoro, he locked up Bradley? Bradley Beal the other day too. Like, that's just the thing. And the thing is too, Sexton, I feel like Sexton should know he doesn't fit in this system. And if I was Sexton, I would almost be encouraging the Cavs to, do a trade to Oklahoma, because I don't think there's a team in the league where he fits more in than Oklahoma right now, because he would traditionally be able to guard the point guard on their team, but not have to run the point guard. He can do the exact same role that Schroeder did when he was on there, where he can just isolate a lot, but he doesn't need to be the playmaker. They have Josh Giddey to be able to do that, And SGA's guarded the three before. He guarded the three in his first season with Oklahoma when they ran SGA, Chris Paul, and Schroeder together. He's proven he can do it. Giddey's like 6'8". He can definitely guard the two. He did it in Australia. He's done it a little bit in the NBA now. There is no reason why Sexton on Oklahoma, I think, would be bad at this point. I think it'd also be a really, really fun team to watch, and the Cavs could benefit from it heaps. We could get up. Look, because they've got so many first-round picks, every team's going to be they're going to be asking, let's just say if Ben Simmons was supposed to get traded to the Cavs, right? Philly might only want 3 picks from the Cavs. But if it was OKC, they'd be asking for like 5 because they know they have more picks. So maybe the Cavs could take an opportunity and, get 3+ first-round picks from OKC and a role player, something else. I don't even know. But there is a lot to take out, I think, from the OKC situation.
Yeah. I might even
make a video on it.
That too.
Yeah.
But no, I might even because I thought about another team too, just off the top of my head when you said that. Like, I might even try to talk with Indiana and see if I could trade Colin Sexton for Malcolm Brogdon and see if they entertain that, because I feel like Malcolm Brogdon would work perfectly at the 2. And just have Darius Garland just be the primary decision maker, which I think a lot of Cavs fans will be fine with, because right now I think Garland has proven that not only can he be a facilitator, but he'd be an efficient shooter, which this is what we thought Colin Sexton was going to be by now. And Garland has already proven to do it. The only thing that's negative of not Colin Sexton. Darius Garland is held. And honestly, now with Colin Sexton getting hurt, it's like you got to question how much better is Colin than Garland, because it's like because the year after now you're gonna have to pay Darius Garland too. So
the thing is though, see where I stop you there is Colin Sexton is not better than Darius Garland. Like, he's just not. He's nowhere near what Darius Garland is. Like, Garland is averaging the same points that Sexton was as the primary, ball handler this year, while averaging like an extra 5 assists per game. And he's had the ball less than what Sexton has, and he's a way better shooter. Like, there is a clear differential. I think Garland will get the max. I have no problem with Garland getting the max at all eventually, but I do have a problem with Sexton getting the max. Just because he only does one thing out there on the court. Well, he scores, but he's good at hustling. seems to be a good locker room dude, but you don't want to pay a dude $30 to $40 million just because he can be a good scorer, you know?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, but the thing is with Brogdon too is if you were to get Brogdon, does Rubio, Garland, and Brogdon work together? Like, could you see them playing on the court at the same time?
I don't know about the same time because then you would have a situation of height, which
Yeah.
I think if we do go for Brogdon, we're always going to be in that situation. Like, but I think me personally, this is my personal opinion. I never thought we was going to keep Rubio long term anyway, or at least after this year's trade deadline. I always felt like Cleveland really got him to see if they can up his value and then basically get him back on a playoff contender, but try to pull some picks or maybe young asset.
I get that. I get that.
So
things have changed now, though, haven't they, with Rubio?
Yeah, because I don't think Cleveland. They knew Rubio was an asset, but they didn't think he was that huge of an asset for a team, right? And I think also, ironically, I think this might also make them look at Colin Sexton a different light too, because now they see they got a player that's not considered a star like Colin, yet he's playing better
than
Colin Sexton, and the team is a lot more successful with him on the floor. So now, if they were to flip Rubio, they looking at it, all right, if we can get a younger version of Rubio on this team for a cheaper price, we don't necessarily need Colin Sexton, right?
Yeah.
We can just hope Garland develops, Evan Mobley develop, Jared Allen develop, who's been playing really good this season too, and really eye on a wing. And or if they can't acquire a wing, maybe finally a big two guard, like or actual size shooting guard, which they technically have in Dylan Windler and Isaac Okoro. So it's really like they really got to gamble on who they believe in the most.